Every battlefield we've walked through in this series has been inside us, between clarity and confusion, duty and desire. But sometimes, the battlefield is bigger. It's civilization itself, fighting to remember where it came from. Under this sand once flowed a river older than any scripture, Sarasvati. They say she didn't just carry water, she carried wisdom. And when she vanished, the world forgot to listen. This is not mythology. This is our forgotten map. A map written in language, trade, geometry, music, in the names of cities, in the months on our calendars, even in the words we speak every day. From Manu's ark in Manali to the grid of Harappa, from the math that traveled to Egypt and Greece, from the idea of time that changed the world's calendars, from the sailors of Lethal who touched distant shores to the princess from Ayodhya who became a queen in Korea. Every step of human history whispers the same truth, that India remembered, even when the world forgot. So today, we're not talking about war or leadership or dharma. We're following the forgotten river, from sand to scripture, from sound to soul, to rediscover the map that built the world. I'm Jessica, and this is Beyond the Battlefield. Welcome to India Unwritten, a journey to rediscover what was never truly lost. The highway from Jaipur to Bikaner isn't really a road. It's a question stretched into the horizon. Somewhere under these dunes flows a memory the world once called Sarasvati, the river that remembered too much to die.
Every satellite image still shows her ghost, a silver vein under the Thar. Geologists call it Gaggar Hakra. Our texts call it Mother.
Mother of all rivers, or mother of all myths?
Myth is just history told in poetry. When glaciers melted around 3101 BCE, this valley was the spine of our civilization.
3101 BCE. Same date our texts mark as the Great Flood of Manu. Coincidence or continuity?
Madam, this river still flows below. My grandfather said its sound comes in dreams.
Maybe rivers don't vanish. They just change language.
Exactly. When foreign travelers came, they heard Sindhu and spoke Hindu. That's how a people got named after a river.
So Hindu isn't a religion's birth certificate. It's a geography's.
And Arya never meant a race, only a virtue. Noble, upright. Our ancestors defined greatness by character, not color.
Every few kilometers, we see a ruined brick platform, a temple half swallowed by sand. The locals say it's where Manu's ark rested after the deluge.
Manu's story isn't unique to India. Babylon calls him Utnapishtim, the Bible calls him Noah. But our version adds one thing no other keeps, the vow to remember. When stone sank, our ancestors taught children to store knowledge in breath.
Forward and backward. That's how they trained the tongue to defy time.
Ghana Patha, the world's oldest data backup.
We were coding before computers.
Field note, village of Adibadri. Locals still light a lamp each night for the river below. They call her not lost, just asleep.
And every time India remembers itself, she turns in her sleep.
We stop at a small temple near Adibadri. A storyteller waits under the banyan tree, paintings rolled like scrolls of memory.
When the sky broke, Manu built a boat. He took every seed, every animal, every verse, and said, "Stone will drown, sound will swim."
Om Apan Napat. Om Apan Napat.
That's Ghanapatha. The recital forward and backward. Their way to make forgetting impossible.
4 times the world froze. 4 ice ages. 12 wars burnt the north. And between Deva and Asura, the earth split. Caspian east for the light, west for the shadow. But both still human.
Save the Vedas, the scrolls.
Scrolls will rot. Teach your children to sing.
He turned knowledge into music, and music into memory.
And when the flood subsided, the boat rested by a hill. They called it Manualaya, Manali.
From that hill sprang 5 branches: Paurava, Ayu, Druhyu, Turvasha, Yadu. One line became the Surya dynasty, another the Chandra dynasty. Their descendants walk our epics as Rama and Krishna, as Pandu and the Pandavas.
So the Mahabharata was a family album. And we are the footnotes.
Druhyus moved west to Europe. Anus went north. Called Danu, their rivers Danube, Don, Dnieper. Beyond the sea lay Patala, the land below, Amaraka, land of the immortals.
Even the Americas carry a memory of that name.
Myths are migration maps written in emotion.
When the sun rose again, Manu said, "Let the new light see us singing."
We will remember. We will remember.
That was our beginning. Not a tribe against another, but a species against forgetting.
And the battlefield wasn't a field at all. It was the human mind. Morning again. The sand smells of iron and rain. Beneath us, lines of baked clay appear, grids, drains, foundations. We are standing in Kalibangan, one of the oldest living blueprints on Earth.
Every brick here is the same size, 1 to 2 to 4 ratio, thousands of kilometers apart, same design. And the drains? Perfect slope, even 5,000 years ago.
Standardization as a spiritual act.
So, this was engineering before empires.
And without slavery, without grand palaces. The beauty here is in equality. Homes built to the same plan, water for all.
We tested this old drain. Even today, the water runs clean through it. They used bitumen, natural tar, to seal the joints.
We built dignity into plumbing.
Exactly. When we say dharma, it isn't a sermon, it's a design principle.
Field note, Rakhigarhi, older than Harappa itself. Excavations reveal granaries, public baths, waits, seals. India wasn't just surviving after the flood, it was organizing.
These are not ruins, they're blueprints of behavior. The people who built this didn't leave monuments, they left methods.
We measured divinity in millimeters.
When the river changed course again, they moved. Kalibangan to Banavali, Banavali to Hastinapura. And when Hastinapura flooded around 800 BCE, they climbed the hill and built again. Every destruction became a syllabus.
That's why Indian history doesn't end. It just relocates. Listen, school children. Saraswati Namastubhyam. The same river we followed here still flows in their morning prayer.
Cities fade, rivers hide, but voices, they inherit the current.
So from this dust came Kurukshetra, Indraprastha, Mathura, Vrindavan, Kasi, Haridwar?
Yes, civilization didn't rise once. It rose again and again. That's India's secret. Resilience as religion.
We lost rivers, we rebuilt cities, and somehow the melody never stopped. From the dust of Rakhigarhi, we drive to Delhi, to the Museum of Ancient Trade Routes. Here, under one roof, sit clay seals from Harappa and papyrus from Egypt, like long-lost cousins sharing a story.
This cord and peg system, our Shulba Sutra geometry, it defined the right angle for Vedic altars 2000 years before Euclid. The same method appears on Egyptian measuring cords. Different names, same principle.
We call it the rule of the cord. When the priests stretched the rope, they were drawing faith with mathematics.
So temples and pyramids were built on the same equation.
Yes, but ours was to balance fire, theirs to preserve a body. Same triangle, different afterlife.
Sphinx. Erosion marks suggest prolonged rainfall, evidence of a wetter age.
That means the Sphinx once watched over a river, not a desert. Perhaps built in the same era when Saraswati still flowed. Harappa fades around 2200 BCE. Egypt rises. One civilization's sunset becomes another's dawn.
The world has always been a relay race, not a competition.
Trade ships followed these currents, carrying copper, lapis, and ideas. From our ports in Lothal and Dolavira sailed engineers and storytellers alike.
See this symbol, a fish beside a star, the Harappan sign for knowledge and direction. The same motif reappears in Sumer as Ea Enki, the water god of wisdom. Our science was already swimming abroad.
And then, centuries later, a Greek student named Pythagoras arrives at Takshashila to study this triangle and the mystery of sound.
He learns geometry, music, and the cycle of rebirth here, and carries it home. That's why his theorem sounds so familiar to our Shulba lines. Same formula, new accent.
And these little tales, fox and grapes, look oddly Indian.
They are. Our Panchatantra traveled west as Aesop's fables. Stories crossed oceans before ships had names.
So our heritage wasn't just spiritual. It was scientific, logical, humane, and export ready.
We shared our software long before we sold it.
From the Sarasvati to the Nile, from the desert to the sea, the river was never lost. It was merely expanding.
That's the truth of India. When we give, the world grows richer. When we share, it remembers itself.
While ships carried India's knowledge abroad, the homeland itself was building a different empire, one of learning, craftsmanship, and quiet wealth.
Look at this, Takshashila, the world's first university. 10,000 students, 64 disciplines, from medicine to philosophy, music to metallurgy.
So, before Athens debated democracy, India had classrooms the size of cities.
And centuries later, Nalanda. Visitors came from China, Korea, Tibet. 9 stories of libraries, thousands of manuscripts. When invaders burnt it, they say the flames rose for months.
To destroy India's knowledge, you had to set fire to the sky.
Here Charaka wrote of Ayurveda, the science of life. Sushruta described surgeries, plastic reconstruction in the 6th century BCE. Our doctors used scalpels while Europe still bled by ritual.
We treated pain as a teacher.
And in Delhi stands an iron pillar that has not rusted for 1,500 years. Proof that metallurgy could be divine precision. Zinc was distilled in Zawar mines while alchemy was still dream in the West.
Our markets were honest and vast. India held a third of the world's wealth till the 1700s, not through conquest, but through creation. Silk, spice, cotton, mathematics, music, everything we made was an offering.
Even numbers here breathed. 0 wasn't a gap, it was potential.
Aryabhatta told the world the earth rotates on its axis. Varahamihira calculated planetary periods with astonishing accuracy. Time was our playground and our devotion.
How did we balance so much learning without losing sanity?
Because our education was rooted in Sanatana Dharma, the eternal law. It never asked who is right, but what is right now. That's why we call it Sanatana, timeless.
So much of this knowledge, and yet India never called it its property. How did that humility survive?
Because Sanatana Dharma was never built on dogma. It was built on Dharma itself, the living order of existence. धर्म कभी नष्ट नहीं होता, खो जाता है. अधर्म कभी स्थायित्व नहीं पा सकता, छा जाता है. Dharma may disappear from sight, but it never dies. Unrighteousness may seem to triumph, but it never stays. That's why civilizations built on conquest eventually collapse. They depend on structure. Sanatan lives because it depends on spirit. It adapts, renews, expresses itself through new forms. Buddha, Mahavira, Nanak, Krishna, each a different wave of the same ocean.
So Sanatana isn't a religion at all. It's consciousness renewing itself.
Yes, Krishna is the only master who offers many paths. कृष्ण के पास एक ही साधना पद्धति नहीं है. वे समस्त पद्धतियों की बात करते हैं. He speaks of jnana for the thinker, karma for the doer, bhakti for the lover, dhyana for the silent one. No one is excluded.
That's why the Gita still feels personal, as if Krishna wrote a separate chapter for each of us.
Yes, that inclusiveness is the secret of endurance. Sanatan never fought time, it flowed with it. Civilizations that cling to form die when the form breaks. Sanatan sheds its skin and shines again.
So even when empires fell and libraries burned, this spirit remained.
Because its scripture wasn't written only in ink, it was written in consciousness. That's why it still breathes.
Sanatana Dharma, the philosophy that outlived its own eras. Every Upanishad, a conversation between silence and self. Every Veda, a song of truth searching for its next echo. While the world was building walls, India was building universes inside the mind.
That is our wealth, not gold, but awareness.
And still, we forgot to tell the world this story.
That's why we're telling it now. The sun drops behind the dunes. We've traveled from myth to mathematics, from a flood that rewrote humanity to a nation that taught the world to think.
And yet, for all we knew about rivers and stars, one mystery always remained: time itself.
We measured everything: length, weight, even light. But who first measured a day?
When we reach Kurukshetra tomorrow, you'll see a temple with no idol, only a shadow on stone. The world calls it a sundial. We called it time, listening to light.
And somewhere in that shadow begins the story of how the world lost 11 days to fix a mistake in its calendar.
11 days. How do you lose time?
You don't lose it. You just forget who was keeping it first.
The river has shown us how India remembered its past. Next time, she will show us how India taught the world to measure its future. And that brings us to the end of part 1. But maybe it's not the end at all. Perhaps it's only the breath before revelation, the moment when silence holds more truth than words. Because what unfolds next might just change the way you see everything. Your work, your choices, your very sense of I. Stay with us. Part 2 will arrive when it's meant to. Not announced, not predicted, but felt. Until then, if this conversation stirred something in you, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and write back to us. Tell us what moved you, confused you, or quietly awakened within you. We're listening. And when the next chapter calls, you'll know.